Crazy excited to be with you all today for our first episode of Stir the Soup. On Stir the Soup, we are going to be checking in with some well-known figures in youth ministry programming for the diocese. Our first guest is going to be Mary Clare Melero, who's a longtime friend to the diocese. She has been helping with music at diocesan youth ministry events since she was a teenager. She's now married and has 3 children, including some twins who are going on 2, I think. But we're going to be hearing a lot about her story and just her walk with the Lord, how she got into music and playing some games together and just hanging out and having fun. So please stay tuned and enjoy our first episode of Stir the Soup.
Diocese of Superior, Wisconsin.
All right, welcome Mary Clare to the first ever episode of Stir the Soup. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do 3 rounds of questions. The first will be kind of a lightning round. And I just want the first thing that comes to mind for each of the questions. And then we'll do some truth or dare. And then towards the end, we'll do a couple of deeper questions, if that's all right with you. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay, awesome. So lightning round, what is your favorite ministry memory in the Diocese of Superior?
Oh man, there's so many. I think like over the years, just getting to getting to return year after year and seeing everyone grow up, and from campers to high school leaders to graduating and coming back and helping out. I think just that's my favorite part.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next question. What is your current praise and worship jam?
The Taste of Eternity by Bellarive. I don't really know. I think it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Bellarive or something like that. Taste of Eternity is my favorite.
Awesome.
That's my favorite to play too. So.
Nice. All right, biggest pet peeve in other people?
Oh man, when people talk with food in their mouth. That's the worst. That is the absolute worst. I have a couple family members that do that. Like, it's just blah.
With that, I assume Ryan, your husband, does not do that?
No, he does not. Yeah. Thank God.
Would
have been a deal breaker.
I was just going to say, would that have been a deal breaker?
Big deal breaker? No.
Oh, that's awesome. Favorite saint as a teenager?
I really liked Saint Therese of Lisieux. But then as I got older, I realized that she wasn't really like my type, like she is kind of like, I mean, she's like great, I've like thoroughly studied her life, but as I got older, I realized she's kind of like, I don't know, like her personality, I don't think we would have gotten along, she's like very girly, I'm a girl and I like feminine things, but she's
I could totally see that. Well, who's your favorite saint today then?
Saint Francis of Assisi. Francis of Assisi is my favorite right now. He's been my favorite for the last like 4 or 5 years.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to hearing this question. So what are your 3 favorite possessions?
Okay, so the first one is a no-brainer. My guitar.
How long have you had that guitar?
I got it, I think in 2014. So what is that? 7 years now?
Yeah.
Coming
is
up
that like
on, or
your first nice guitar?
It actually is technically not a nice guitar. It's nice. I think it's nice, but it was only like $300, whereas like a nice guitar is like $1,200 or whatever.
Sure.
And I since having this guitar, like I honestly have no idea how many hours I put into it, but it has to be well over, you know, at least like 3,000 hours or something crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And when you keep playing guitar, I don't know too much about this, but somebody was explaining to me that the more you play it, like the wood is kind of cured, like in a way, and like it just matures, and the sound. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like it is, because I've played other like this same guitar at other places, and they're nothing like my guitar. And so I've tried to purchase like 2 or 3 different times now. I've purchased like a really nice guitar, like, you know, $1,200 Martin or whatever, you know, like something that I liked, and returned it a few days later after playing it a bunch, because it just, all I wanted was my guitar. So that's a prized possession. Another one is I have like 6 of these this size composition books, and they are journals from when I was between the ages of 18 and 24, and they are just full. I would like write like 2 lines, like fit 2 lines of script between each line. So they're very full. They have songs and lots of thoughts, and I cherish them, because I kind of stopped journaling a lot when I started a job at 24 that was very demanding, and I started dating my now husband, and that was very time consuming as well. And but I just have a lot about me and my development in those books, and it's very fulfilling to go back and see that, and kind of be reminded on some things that I've been through or worked through, and it's cool. So that is a prized possession. And then thirdly, is very practical. I recently got some AirPods.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of expensive things. Like my phone is my most expensive thing probably that I own. But these AirPods are so practical, and I love it. I have 3 really little kids that constantly want to grab anything that's like hanging from me. Like I don't get to wear earrings anymore. I am right now because they're sleeping. And AirPods are just, they've helped me be able to like listen to music and like podcasts while I'm doing things around the house.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Prized possession for sure.
Secret talent. I know you have a huge new talent from your social media, but do you have any other secret talents?
So I couldn't think of anything. I was gonna say bread baking, because it was a secret to me. I didn't know I was good at it, and it turns out I'm actually pretty good at baking bread. Picking up new recipes and kind of modifying them and figuring out things. So like artesian.
How did you get into that?
Okay, so I was pregnant with my 3rd child, Christina, and it was like month 7.5 or something, and that was when we moved to this bigger house. We had a really small apartment with 0 counter space, and I had already been kind of trying to bake some breads at this other place, and there was no space for me to do it. When we moved here, quarantine stuff happened, and my husband was laid off for like 4 months, and it was glorious, and we're super grateful to God for that time. And I was able to just kind of start baking bread, and people wanted to buy it, so I kept doing it, and this little hobby was funded, and now I have a lot of experience that I never thought I would have baking bread. It was
That's awesome.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. We've obviously been trying to get you to move to the Supe for like 8 years.
For years. Yeah.
But as soon as you started posting pictures of the bread you were baking and offering it to people, it's like, you need to move over here like now. Awesome. Well, good job on the lightning round. I think you aced it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, truth or dare now. So you've got your materials ready in case the questions are too scary.
Okay.
We're going to start with, we're going to go big right off the bat. What is the most awkward date you ever went on?
I think like the most awkward one was when I had like gotten back from a mission trip that I like took a bunch of kids on, the job I just started, and I was super sick, but I had told this person yes, and like that we would go after I got back, and to be honest, I didn't really want to go on it, but I like felt bad, so I just kind of wanted to get out of the way instead of like pushing it away. So I went on this date, and I like got even sicker somehow on the date, and it was just like the kind where you're just like completely plugged up, like I'm like tearing up, you know, and like, and then he like wanted to like, it was like had been like 3 hours or something already, and he wanted to like continue it on. I was like, please take me home, please. Like, please just take me home. And that was kind of awkward. So it was really awkward, actually. Like, please take me home.
So I'm guessing that person is not Ryan.
No. No, our first date was not awkward. It was awesome.
Okay, truth or dare question 2. What is your biggest insecurity?
Let's do a dare. I don't know.
All right, let's see. Why don't you grab a bottle of your favorite condiment?
Okay.
And a big spoon.
No. Okay. And
this is stir the soup. So we're gonna stir it up. You just take an awkwardly big bite of mayonnaise.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I said favorite condiment.
I know, but condiments by themselves are nasty. Look at that. That's disgusting.
I can't even look at that. I hate mayonnaise.
Okay, wait, let me think about my biggest insecurity. Okay, like okay, let's do insecurity because I'm smelling the tomato right now and it's just like I didn't know what else to grab out of my fridge.
Yeah.
Okay, so probably so I have really crooked teeth and I think that's like my biggest physical insecurity is just having crooked teeth, and like everyone has perfect teeth now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I have messed up teeth too, and I'm told it's because I'm a mouth breather, that like my nose is constantly plugged and I breathe at night, and so the dentist said it stains your teeth to have your mouth open like all the time.
Really? Wow.
So I don't know if that's why my teeth are stained, but I'm super insecure about it too. But,
yeah, I get that.
Well, when you win the lottery, you can pay for both of us to get new teeth.
Yes.
All right, well, you crushed truth or dare as well. You're 2 for 2. We'll dive deep now if that's all right.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So as you were a young adult and a teenager, how seriously did you consider other vocations? Were you just like always sure it was going to be marriage for you, or did you explore other vocations at all?
Yeah. So growing up, my dad always said we were going to be nuns. So that was like always, in the back of my head, but or in the front. But we like my dad has a pretty good relationship with a couple different orders of sisters, and so like we would go and visit like his friends, and so we were around nuns a decent bit. So I was like pretty familiar, like soberly familiar with like their lifestyle, and just had some friendships building myself with people that were sisters or people that were going to become sisters. And I think it was between my 2 years of net. I graduated high school, served a year with net, and then I had like a year that I traveled and did music, and then I went back to net. And during that middle year, I spent 2 weeks with the School Sisters of Christ the King down in Lincoln, Nebraska. My mom is originally from there. I was born there, and my dad has a relationship with them. So I was helping them out with like one of their summer week-long retreat things for girls, and then I ended up asking to stay another week, and I was just very seriously thinking about just that my vocation and where God was calling me, and I felt a lot of peace there. It was very good. Ultimately, I kept going. It wasn't like a sitting in conflict, like, oh, am I supposed to stay here forever? Or it just was, I was just kept going, and I, left there when the time came and kept going with life, and just was always open. So I would say I seriously considered it, but mostly just being open to whatever was coming before me.
Yeah. And when you met Ryan and started dating, did it seem clear right away that this was probably a serious option for you, or was there kind of a turning point? Okay.
I think with Ryan, like, I mean, we had been close friends that year on net. So at this point, when we went on by the time we went on our first date, we had known each other for 2 years. And one of the years we were like in close quarters, And so he had changed a lot since we had done that, through his second year and moving away from home. And so there was that, but I think it was like the first 3 months of our relationship, which we only dated, I think, for like 8 months before we got engaged. It was a short time.
Yeah.
And then that first half, it was like super difficult. I had never been as an adult in a serious relationship. I was like in a serious relationship in high school, I guess, but not like I took it seriously, but it was, but this was like my first at 24 years old. Like I was working through some really difficult things that like we like just kept missing each other on or colliding with. And it was really hard. And like we learned how to fight. Like it was weird because we were such good friends. And so it was the beginning of this relationship, and it was something we both knew we wanted, but it was really difficult. And I think through that, it became very clear to us very quickly, like this is what we wanted. Yeah. So just from working so hard in the beginning.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, we have time for just a couple more, I think. What is one song, probably a praise and worship song, but it could be a hymn or something too. What is one song that you wish that everyone would listen to and pray with?
A song. Okay, so the first one that comes to mind is Have My Heart by Maverick City Music. Have you heard that one?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't remember why I first heard it. It like came up in some playlist or something, but it's not like one of their top songs or anything. But it's just like the lyrics are very beautiful, and it's the second verse specifically, it's just the way that he expresses his desire for the Lord to take everything from him is in a way that I feel that I haven't heard in a lot of worship songs. Like there's like contemplative songs that are very complex lyrics and whatever, but they're not like praise and worship necessarily. Like I feel, like they're blessing the Lord, yes, but and it's like, be the Lord of my emotions, set me free of selfish motives. And just like that those two lines specifically were like very convicting to me, and I was like, this is a good song.
Oh, that's awesome. What's it called?
Have My Heart by Maverick City Music.
Okay, I was thinking Here's My Heart, Lord, which is similar, but doesn't have quite that same depth of giving over the complexity of our humanity.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I'll have to check that out. So since we're talking about music, as a musician, because I feel like I talk to young musicians about this, and I've heard Matt Maher talk about this at conferences, but as somebody who's a talented musician, how do you kind of set your ego aside and kind of thinking about yourself and how you're being perceived, and really focus on actually entering into worship and just being present to the Lord and really giving him that gift of praise?
So I feel like before I had my kids, so I moved to California for a time, and it was before that, I feel like I like praying with music was so effortless for me. Like I wouldn't really be able to answer the question because it was just, I don't know. It was just so effortless. It wasn't a thing. And then when I moved to California, I wasn't really playing a lot I wasn't playing a whole lot anymore. I was mostly just working and spending time with Ryan's family. And then I came back to Minnesota, got married, and I started playing again more, which was very good. But like still I was pregnant and I got super sick with the twins. And so it was like, I just was kind of going and playing. I wasn't spending a lot of time practicing. Now I have kids, and it's just hard. And I personally feel like my quality of like being able to sing and play has gone down. Like it's not effortless anymore. I have to put a significant amount of effort in. And with that becomes a lot of like getting nervous while I play and like kind of being insecure, like, oh, that person's here, that they are really good and they're going to hear this and it's not that good, like, and starting to think those things while I'm supposed to be praying and leading worship. So I would say that that's a pretty good indicator that that I'm not praying. And so just being able to but now like I know that about myself, like I can start to feel those feelings coming on if I like look up and see someone or whatever, so just trying to take my full attention to Jesus, and praying that prayer, like, be the Lord of my emotions, like feeling this emotion right now that like I just need to surrender, like feel it, give it, be done with it, and use that as a prayer. Like take these feelings of insecurity, of concern, anxiety, and then in that same breath, like anyone who is here who's feeling like anything like that, you know, like, and kind of start tumbling back into prayer in that way.
Yeah. It seems like there's a healthy balance, right? Because those can be eye-opening moments where it's like, man, I need to be practicing more. Like if I'm going to step forward to lead people, because I've been there before, it's like what I'm doing right now is inadequate. And that can be a healthy assessment or an unhealthy assessment, right? While you're leading worship is probably not the time to make that assessment, but but it seems like there's a balance of like, because I think you probably are confident enough that you're not going to feel insecure in an unhealthy way about it. But for some people, they're only actually going to get up and lead once they're like 110% confident that they're going to do it flawlessly. I don't think you struggle with like finding that healthy balance, but do you know other musicians that kind of have to work at that?
Yeah. No, I have a friend who he's like that, where he doesn't want to do it at all because he feels like it's not going to be good enough, period, ever. And I mean, with anything, you got to give it a shot, you know? And I think for me, I can have very perfectionist mentality on things. And so it's just like getting upset that it's not, like feeling like frustrated and like being distracted in that way, and just really having to let go. And I would really encourage anyone who is thinking about or has been like wanting to lead worship, but you feel like you're not good enough, just give it a shot. Like you're not going to hurt anybody, you know, and you're just going to get better the more that you do it, and the more experience you have in, like, you know, working through those distractions that come up while trying to pray and lead others in prayer, like working through those distractions and getting through it, tumbling back into prayer, using them as leverage, you know. So it can be kind of tough though, like just that hurdling over it initially can be scary. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That's helpful for me. I know I'm very confident as a percussionist, and so I could probably like play in front of thousands of people and feel totally confident doing that. But the first time I led praise and worship on my guitar was in front of 3 teenagers, and I was so terrified. And I just had that realization that was like, I either do this now or I never do it. So just like, just do it, get over yourself, it's gonna be fine. And they were all like, that was amazing. I was like, actually it was horrible, but we did it. That's good. I mean, in your defense, like, no offense to teenagers, anyone listening to this, but they can be kind of ruthless sometimes.
Absolutely.
Just being honest, guys. Just being honest.
Absolutely. All right, well, last question. What are some of the ways that you as a Catholic woman, as a disciple of Jesus, just like have to pray on a consistent basis, either like every day or several times a week? Like what's the foundation of your devotional life?
Sure. So it used to be that I journaled. That as I was sharing. And when that shifted, it was really hard for me because I thought that I wasn't praying if I wasn't journaling. And then now, like as a mom, like that's not happening for sure. Like I wish it would, but it's just it's not reality, and I can't like focus on that. I can't, like, I have to put my focus into like taking those moments that I can pray. I kind of think of it like at this point in my life for where I am, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I'm still working. Like I play on the weekends and I coordinate during the week. I also take care of my younger sister who lives with me. And so I'm constantly getting bombarded either by my kids or by something she needs. And I'm on call 24/7. Also like my husband. So it can be challenging. But like, I think of it like with bread baking. So it takes like 8 hours for this loaf of bread that I sell for $5. It takes 8 hours of time where I'm checking in on it. Well, I started out and then I check in on it 2 times. And then like the last time there's like, and then there's 2 more times after that. And it's just like these intervals of time where something is, you know, you do something, pause, and then something is, you know, whatever. and some of them are closer together, some of them are farther apart, different breads, different things. Okay, so it's like I'm centering my day around this bread baking, like coming back to it each time. Like a month ago, I kind of had this like realization, like that's what my prayer life looks like, and it's okay, like it's successful in the end. You know, I'm getting a loaf of bread at the end, and that it's just centering my day around it just by checking in little things. Sometimes it's a little bit more, you know, like putting the ingredients together. Sometimes it's just like touching it and seeing where it's at with the rising, or, you know, punching it down, and that's it. And then the last time it's, you know, wrapping it, like getting it all together and sending whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm getting into it too much, but I really like baking. So, but it's just taking that, like giving space for that to like, it doesn't have to be a specific amount of times that I'm praying a day. It's just checking in with the Lord and offering whatever I'm doing to him, and that's honestly what it looks like right now. And it feels like kind of awkward or embarrassing that I'm not like reading something or praying a daily rosary or journaling or like reading my Magnificat every day, you know, like and it's hard and it's humbling because I feel like that's not enough, but it is what I'm able to give right now, and he's taking it. So I feel like it's practical. But like even like someone who like doesn't have kids and you feel like your prayer life isn't, you know, like you're not taking, like you said, taking advantage of that time that you have. Like, like I know for me, there were periods of time before I was with Ryan or had kids that like I felt that I wasn't taking proper advantage of my time to pray or doing enough. And back to that perfectionist kind of mentality of things that I know that I struggle with. It would kind of turn into this, well, it's not good enough, so I'm just not going to do it at all. Like if I can't give what I think is good enough, then I'm not going to give anything. And just kind of letting that go and thinking that was like, if it's not going to be good enough, then nothing is fine. And so don't allow yourself to fall into that. Like whatever you're giving right now is good. And like, yes, you can give more, but you know, you'll get there. It's okay. And that, like, you know, if you're working a lot, like I know, like I was a youth minister for a year and a confirmation coordinator, and it was a very difficult time and very busy. And I was dating. So I wasn't married with kids or anything. And it was still like really difficult for me to find time to pray. And I think like just offering up the difficult conversations, offering up the difficult emails, and rejoicing with the Lord in your victories and your successes, accomplishments, and whatever it is that you're doing, like school or work. Like, I think it's more, there's more to it than just like having a reason, like being a mom, you know, like being a full-time mom. There's more. You don't have to have like that reason for it to be okay for your prayer to look like that.
Absolutely. And even if somebody came to me as a spiritual mentor and said, well, I don't have an hour that I pray every morning, but I check in with Jesus throughout the entire course of the day, I'd be like, that's awesome. Like that's called intimacy, and that's what you're striving for. So, that's beautiful. Well, Mary Clare, thank you so much. This has been such a gift to me personally, and can't wait to share it with everybody around the diocese. So thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Killer tonight, let's enjoy the stars, turn off these city lights.